Click the link in the description for your free Amsoil catalog. Before we get started, I'd like to give a quick shout out to some of our friends. The Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame. Search for them on Facebook. Central Minnesota Pond Racing. Search for them on Facebook. The historic Lancaster Motel for the ultimate Eastern trail riding adventure. Crane's Snowmobile Museum at 172 Main Street in Lancaster, New Hampshire. The Vintage Snowmobile Club of America Quarterly Magazine. The Bridge Street Garage Racing Team, the house racing team of the Vintage Snowmobile Podcast. The New Hampshire Snowmobile Museum at Bear Brook State Park in Allenstown, New Hampshire. And lastly, if you decide to advertise with the Vintage Snowmobile Podcast, this could be your advertising message. Good evening and welcome to the podcast. I'm really glad you're here. I have a full slate of Vintage Snowmobile entertainment on tap for you tonight. We've got a live guest waiting in the background for us. I'm going to bring Scott Warner on here in just a minute or two. I'd also like to call your attention to item number 2. We're going to have an open line show and tell where you can join us with your cell phone for some vintage show and tell. So if you have vintage sleds, artifacts, trophies, vintage snowmobile clothing from back in the day, I'm going to post a link in the description where you can join us to show us whatever you have. All you need is a smartphone and to click on a link that I'm going to post in the comment section at around 9:30. Here are the guidelines if you're thinking about joining us. You do have to have something vintage related for show and tell. I would like you to hold your camera horizontal for a wide shot. Also, please keep it clean, no nudity, profanity, etc. It's okay if you have something for sale, but it must be vintage related. And please keep it positive, no bashing of people, businesses, etc. Now, I'll be posting the link so you can join us here at about 30 minutes past the hour. But in the meantime, I want to make sure that everything is working properly. So if you can see my face and hear my voice, I'm going to ask you to make some comments. Make a comment. Please let me know where you're viewing this from, whether you are a first-time viewer or a regular viewer. Now, to our first-time viewers, I thank you so much for joining us tonight to check us out. Really appreciate it. I hope that you enjoy this and you decide to join us here each and every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And, of course, to our regular viewers who are here week after week after week, thank you so much. You guys are the ones that make this possible, and I really appreciate it. Let's take a look at some comments here. We're going to do a few quick comments. Now we're going to bring Scott on. Let's see, we've got Alden Banks from Bristol, New Brunswick, Canada. How you doing? Alden is a regular viewer. Josh Leviker is viewing tonight. Thank you so much. And Josh is from Tug Hill. Thank you so much, Josh. Richard Brazo from Coleman, Wisconsin, regular viewer. Thank you for being on tonight. Peter Chappell from Cuyahoga, New York. Thank you for coming on. Regular viewer Nick Kafez, loud and clear, Shelby Township, Michigan. Thank you so much for coming on. We're going to just take a couple of more, and we're going to bring our guest Scott Warner on, but I'll continue to pop the comments on the screen while we're talking to him. And also, as you're viewing us talking with Scott Warner, if you have questions or comments for him, please leave comments and questions in the comment section, and we'll run that by Scott and see what he has to say. We've got Bruce Halls from Saskatchewan, Canada. Our good friend Armin Buto, and he's also a RUP expert out of Pittsburgh, New Hampshire. Thank you for coming on, Armin. We appreciate your being a regular viewer here. And Reese Fleury from Tupper Lake, New York. Excellent. Thank you so much for coming on. Let me switch screens here. We're going to bring our guest on. Don't want to keep him waiting any longer. And Scott Warner, how you doing tonight?
Good, Mike. Glad you could have me on.
Well, my pleasure. I'm really glad you can come on. Now, Scott, if I understand, you're very involved with grass drag racing out in upstate New York. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes. Yep.
Wonderful. Yeah. What can you tell us about that?
Well, basically, it started out. I started a Facebook page called Leaf Spring Outlaws, and it originally started just as kind of a clearinghouse for vintage snowmobile racing, drag racing information, where there were races, to have an open forum for people to be able to post vintage drag racing information or photos, even dealing with racing back in its heyday. And I've always been kind of a drag race fan, and oval's covered by other people. So I figured we would concentrate on vintage drag racing. Yeah. So that's basically kind of how it started, and it grew from there, where to the point that we're starting to put on some races, and we are trying to promote it as our priority is having fun. It's not so much about the money or the competition. It's more about camaraderie and having a good time with other people that are like-minded, that enjoy vintage sleds.
Nice. So people from any level can come by and have a good time. They can just bring a sled they've got in their garage, bring it over, grass drag it.
Yep.
Win, lose, or draw, they're there to have a good time. It's not about the money or the trophies. It's just having a real good time, keeping it at the hobby level.
Yep, exactly. Because all forms of motorsport today is, become kind of a corporate monopoly, and a lot of them have kind of forced the little guy out, so, and that's what we cater to. It's more of a grassroots type of organization for people to just, we have people that pull sleds out of barns, get them running, and come down and have a good time with us. That's what that's what we're about. It's cool. It's old school racing, like it used to be. Trying to recreate how it was back in the early '70s and during the heyday.
Yeah, that was so much fun back then.
Yeah,
it was less organized and less structured and less about the money and more about the good time.
Yeah, exactly.
And as you're talking to me about this has me wondering, is this also a good opportunity for the kids and grandkids of the people our age to give them a chance to give it a try without all the pressure of being a corporate situation?
That's definitely it. There's not you go to some of the large races today, and there's a lot of pressure, and you get to the line and so on and so forth. It kind of puts a lot of pressure on a person, and they become kind of intimidated. Where our people help everybody out. We help you get to the line, and our thing is have fun. And if you leave at the end of the day with a smile on your face, we've done our job.
Yeah, for sure. And that's in many cases is worth more than any trophy you could receive.
Correct. That's the way we feel about it, really.
Nice. And that's what a young person needs, or even like someone my age. I've never drag raced, but I would bring a sled and try it just to have a good time. And that appeals to someone like me, or maybe even a child, that is less formal, less intimidating, like you said.
Right.
You can just give it a try and see how you like it.
Yep. Exactly. Like, because there's not the pressure situation, and there are people there to help you out and kind of guide you, maybe it's something you'd want to pursue,
Good way to put your toe in the water and see.
Exactly. And there's no pressure. We try to class as best we can for what shows up.
Sure.
We get a lot of different stuff, and we try to class performance wise. We kind of use the old fan cooled, free air, liquid, stock,
Sure.
and then we have modified classes, what we try, trying to make it as fair as we don't want anybody to get half tracked, and if that happens, we ask that the person bump up into the next class. We try to keep it fair so everybody has a good time, and we run double elimination. You have to lose twice, so everybody gets more than enough chances to run down the track. And the way we do it is we only charge $10 per sled.
Yeah. And
you can run as many classes as your sled will fit into. So you'll be running all day, just bring enough gas with you.
Yeah. Here's an image.
Yep.
Nice.
This is Matt's place. This is in Beaver Dams, New York, town of Monterey. We used to drag race here 25 years ago, and you can see the backdrop, the back wall. Yeah, the back wall there is we haven't raced there in 20 years, and
Sure.
The venue came under new management, and Matt Odell, the owner of the place, he was more than accommodating, letting us come down there and run. And Matt himself does the announcing. He does a real good job. And
nice.
we're gonna try to continue on as long as we can and get people to become involved. We've had people that have come there and watched and come up to us, and now they're in the process of building a sled to come and run with us next year, so
it's infectious in a manner of speaking.
Yeah, very, very much so. Very much so. Yep.
I could picture that. I could picture going there as a spectator and say, hey, I'd like to try this.
Yeah, because of the fact that it is such a relaxed atmosphere,
Yeah, you're not feeling all that pressure to
exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, I've got a video clip that you sent me. It's about an 8-second clip of some guys ripping down the track. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, I could see the whole afternoon.
Yeah, and so everybody knows we only run 300 feet. Nobody seems to have a problem. I mean, the kind of general length is 500 feet, but you're talking about 40-plus-year-old sleds, and more than that age riders, but we have guys that are late 60s, early 70s, all the way to young people in their 20s, that come and have fun with us. But,
nice. And I like the sound of that too, because you get people from yesteryear who may not feel as fit as they used to, but they might have enough in them to get on it and take a rip down there, and just for old time's sake, not with the ambitions of winning it, but just for having a good time to relive the glory days.
Yeah, we had a gentleman. We had a gentleman that brought a 71 EXT 340. He hadn't grass raced in 50 years. This was the first time in 50 years that he'd been back out, and he came down and he just had a wonderful time.
Wow. That's cool. Reliving the glory days.
Yep.
That is cool. That is very cool. And I'm just popping some comments on while we're talking here.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people watching this, and we're getting some nice compliments too. Okay, here we go. We've got Bill Walton. I'm sorry. I think he's involved with this, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Yep.
Yeah.
Bill is a good friend of mine. Bill was the one that I went to as he had experience with building Facebook pages. Yeah. So I approached him, and he took it upon himself to create the page, and it just grew from there. Yeah.
It's taken on a life of its own.
It really has. We're approaching right now 800 members on the page, and they're not all in our area. They're Canada, out in the West. It's just people that enjoy vintage sleds and running them.
Nice. And if this is intriguing anyone who would like to take a look at this Facebook property that you have, there's a link in the description. And I encourage people to click that link and come on by and join the fun. He does have an excellent Facebook page there.
And I'd like to stress that anybody, it's an open forum. Anybody is welcome to post any vintage related, drag racing photos or stories that you have or whatever. It's like I said, it's an open forum, and we encourage people to post on it, pictures and so on and so forth.
Nice. Yeah, and all you have to do to check it out is click the link in the description. It'll take you right over there. And I've got some more footage that you sent me. This is some more footage from the Monterey grass drags. I think that was this past summer.
Mm-hmm.
Good. And this is just a montage of clips. I think Bill Walton, I think this might be his footage or something.
Probably, yeah.
I think maybe he was there.
Yeah, Bill took a lot of video footage the first couple of races we had.
Good. Yeah, I want to make sure he gets full credit for it. But yeah, let's roll that. We've got about 3 or 4 minutes worth of footage here back to back with people doing drag racing. Yeah, let's take a look at that.
He's got a by run. Beautiful Tigre. Oh, she's hooking. Nice. Marking board. Oh, look at that. Oh. He still got her. Got some grudge racing going on. Mark and Tony. Nice pass. We got Scott up on the mod. Looks like we got Mark and Scott. Break it up a little bit. This is just grudge racing.
Yeah, that looks like a whole lot of fun.
that 171, I was on that 171 Yamaha, that 433 GP,
Yeah.
the tunnel mount. You know, I probably could have gotten off and ran faster than that. But and when I got off, I had gasoline all over my glasses and a smile on my face.
Nice.
You can see. Don't feel bad about bringing anything out. It's just about having a good time.
Having fun, for sure. Now, for people who are unfamiliar, tell me about these grudge matches. Are these people who got whipped and they want to try to
no,
second chance? Or
that was just after the actual class racing was done. Just guys that wanted to race each other. Just for fun. Yeah,
nice.
Yeah.
To keep going, to keep doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone's there and things are set up. Let's keep doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
We had an opportunity. Like you said, we were set up, and we still had some time. That we could be there. So some guys wanted to race each other. So that's basically what it was.
Nice.
Just grudge match.
Sure. Now, do you have plans to do anything over the winter, either on ice or snow? Or
we are. We are planning on if we get ice, we are planning on having an ice drag. If not, depending upon if we get any cold weather, we may run down at Matt's again. If the ground freezes, because none of us want to deal with the mud anymore. 25 years ago we dealt with that stuff, grass racing, and the starting line get pretty tore up, and you're running in the fall, and the weather's kind of sketchy, so you got a lot of rain, and none of us want to deal with going to the coin wash and spending $10, trying to get all the crap out of the suspension, So
that's gonna be
so that's what. But anybody that's interested, anybody is welcome. If they're in a position where they want to come and run with us, we advertise all our races that are coming up on our site, so anybody that wants any of the information, just go right to the Facebook page, and everything will be there,
Good. Yeah. And there's a link to that in the description. So if you're curious about this and want to kind of monitor what's on the horizon in the way of the calendar, just click on their Facebook page and you can find it right there.
Yep.
And where in New York State are you? What are you close to?
I myself, I'm in Rochester, which is equidistant between Buffalo and Syracuse, very close to I'm only about 5 minutes away from Lake Ontario. Where we race is down in the southern part of New York State, down south of Bath. It's down actually close to Watkins Glen and in that area in the southern tier of New York State. That's where Matt's place is, where we race at. If we have an ice race, we may have it at Little Sodus. We may have it on Arundequoit Bay, which are closer, more northern part of the state. But everything is dependent upon the weather. Sure. What we're going to do, So and it's if we decide we're going to race, it may be this weekend we're running, so or maybe a couple of weeks out, because we got to move fast, because if you wait 3 weeks, you're going to lose the weather, So
that's the conditions are right, you have to pounce.
Yeah, we have to pounce. Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Well, I'll ask you to keep me posted because I'm happy to post that on my Facebook page, Vintage Snowmobile Lovers.
Certainly.
Anything that you've got coming up, and also I'm happy to mention it here on the podcast. I have an announcement section.
Great.
And I'd be happy to help promote that.
Great. I just want to stress anybody that feels they have an interest in it or just want to be around old sleds. That's what we're about. We're just a bunch of guys, more old sled freaks than serious racers. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
we're out to have a good time. And just hang out with like-minded people.
Yeah, and keep it informal for people who want or maybe new to it or haven't done it in decades.
Yes, exactly.
Nice. Now I've got one last clip. This is a clip. I don't know if they had the camera on the handlebars or up on the helmet. I know a lot of people do a GoPro on the helmet.
Yeah, I think he had a GoPro on his helmet. Yep.
Sure, and this is Bernie. Let's take a look at Bernie taking a rip down the track. Yeah, that looks like a lot of fun.
That was perfect, especially after that first pass he made. You heard him laughing.
Yes.
That's the kind of fun we have, you know.
There's joy in Mudville.
Yeah.
Nice. Now we're getting a lot of nice comments coming in too. I'll pop them on the screen. We get Paul Mullahan saying it's sweet. Clint Bruderer saying good stuff. Alden Banks, awesome grass race, awesome grass racing. And then we've got Pat Lima says howdy again from Southeast Missouri. Keep it coming. Good deal. Yeah, thank you so much, Pat. Now, for the people who are anticipating our next segment, we're going to have an open line show and tell. I've just posted in the comment section a link where you can join us live with a cell phone for some show and tell. And I'm going to put a graphic on the screen. We'd love to have you on, but we do have some guidelines. And the guidelines are this. You have to have something vintage related. We do want you to hold the camera horizontal for a wide shot. It looks a lot better. It fills the screen that way. Please keep it clean. No nudity, profanity. It's okay if you have something to sell, but it has to be vintage related. And lastly, keep it positive. No bashing of people, businesses, etc. And we would love to have you on for some show and tell. We've had some people on here over the last couple of episodes, and it was a whole lot of fun. To me, it's exciting. I like doing this kind of live thing like we're doing now, because in a way you're kind of live without a net. You don't know what's going to happen. There's some excitement with that. It can also go wrong too, which you have to recover from, but which is fine. And just putting the link out there for people to come on is that same kind of tension, that same kind of risk. But with that risk comes the reward. You can have an awful lot of fun. And if people have been watching the last couple of weeks, they'll see that. And we've got Jason waiting to come on here. We're just going to speak with Scott a few more minutes, and we'll bring you on, Jason. But Scott, is there anything we haven't talked about that we maybe should have or haven't covered?
Not that comes to me right at the moment. No, I just once again I want to stress, anybody that has any kind of interest and might want to run with us, feel free. And also, our site is an open forum. For those people that are out in the Midwest and out in the West Coast or from Canada, please feel free to post, vintage racing items, pictures, stories, whatever.
Wonderful.
We promote that.
Yeah, and that link is right in the description. I encourage you very much to go over to their Facebook property and join that. And there's a lot of nice clips on there, video clips, images, things for sale, a little bit of everything. If you love vintage, it's a great hangout. And now, Scott, do you want to hang out with us while we bring Jason on and see what he's got for some show and tell?
Okay.
All right. Jason, we're going to be bringing you on here. How you doing, Jason?
Great. How are you?
Good. It's really nice to meet you. I appreciate you coming on for some show and tell.
You too. I'm trying to get this camera figured out. Sorry.
Sure. Well, I'm going to put you full screen. And
oh, there we go.
And then also, if you're wanting to switch the camera to use the camera on the other side of the phone, let me put the two of us back up here.
Oh, there we go.
If you scroll up, if you scroll up like this, it'll show you like a gear icon, and it'll allow you to change cameras.
Okay.
So that way, if you've got something you want to show us, we lost him. Oh no. Okay. Well, if you can hear us, Jason, just come right back on. We're waiting for you. We'll just chat with Scott here for another minute, and hopefully Jason will come back on. It's a work in progress, and that's the beauty and the magnificence of going live, is you're working without a net, and you have to improvise when things go wrong, and they do. But to me, I like that. I used to do live radio back in the day, and that was it was frightening at first, but it was also exciting. The adrenaline of it was wonderful, and you just don't know what's going to happen. But I came to enjoy it and crave it, actually. But okay, here he is. He's coming back on.
It's also exciting.
All right, Jason. Oh, good. Yeah, you get the camera on the other side. Let me put you full screen.
Okay, how's that?
That's perfect. Wonderful.
Okay. Well, I love your show, Mike, by the way. It's my Thursday night routine now.
Oh, I'm so glad. I'm glad to hear that.
But I just wanted to show you, I got a little project here. It's a little Elan that I've been working on that I got as a kid. And anyway, but
you have a lot of personal history with that sled.
Yeah, it was great. I got it for Christmas, and I'm down in Nebraska and Iowa, so we don't get the snow like you guys do, but we had I suppose it was a foot of snow or so.
Yeah.
On the ground, and it was a great day that day when I got it. So, but it's been sitting forever, and then I've got some little ones and some older kids, so I've been doing a full restoration and then watching these shows. I'm all excited about it, and I bought a couple other older Skidoos, and so I got other ones that are they're standing behind and waiting to come on the assembly line for me to piece them together.
Nice. Now, those projects behind can we get a quick glimpse at those project sleds? Or?
I don't have them. They're in my other shop. Unfortunately, I don't have enough room. And this one, I kind of bring them in one at a time. But this little guy is just that's a Skidoo that I use to run around here. And
gotcha.
And
so that's the Elan cab sitting on it. Okay, I thought it was another Elan back there.
No, that's just the top of it. I got to get all that put back on, and the track yet, which I'm having a tough time finding a track, so I'm gonna have to use the old one. Yeah, the one's just with the COVID. I think there's been a shortage of them, but
sure.
Anywho,
I like the Christmas tree too. That's the spirit. I love that.
Yeah, this is my man cave. I kind of hang out in here, and then on Thursday nights, of course, watch you and everybody. It's awesome, and enjoy my favorite cocktail.
That is cool. That is very cool. Now, Scott, did you have anything you wanted to add? Any comments or questions on what we're looking at here?
No, I just I remember seeing those on the showroom floor when they were new.
Yes.
Yeah,
both of my older brothers at different times worked at a local Skidoo dealership, so I'm very familiar with that.
Yeah, and
well,
those
if
were very
anybody's
agile.
out watching, I'm looking for a 76 Jag or Arctic Cat Jag 3000.
76 Jag, yeah.
I had one of those too. I'd like to buy one and redo it.
Nice. I do remember those. Yeah, those are nice sleds. And also, if anyone's got a track, you're actively looking for a track for this Elan, correct?
Yeah, I sure am. I've got the old one there. You can kind of see it sitting there. It's okay, but I'd really like a new one, and I've been checking, of course, all over the internet, and I just can't. No one seems to have them, and from what I've been told, that they're not going to be available till March or so. But obviously, I would like to have it before that. But we're actually going to get some snow here tomorrow, which is kind of crazy for Nebraska. We don't get it like you guys do, but so it'll be nice.
Sure. And it may also be worth giving Al's Snowmobile Warehouse in Newport, Vermont a call. They may have something like that for you.
Yeah, I did. I reached out to them. They've helped me with a couple of things on this old girl, and they're great. But they don't have them either. And yeah, I've been checking all over. But
gotcha. Well, cool. And we've also got Mark waiting in line here to come on.
All right,
Jason. Any final thoughts before we wrap this up? Or?
No, just keep it going. And this is awesome. And you got a great show. So appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you as well. I appreciate your coming on. I appreciate you being a regular viewer. And as you get this going, we'd love to have you come on maybe some night to do some drive-bys outside when you get some snow.
Well, we got I live right on the Platte River, if you're familiar with that. And when it freezes over, it's like a big open interstate. And in Nebraska, there's not a lot of snowmobilers, so it's kind of fun. I'll be the only one on it, but I'm zipping up and down. I can go for miles. It's awesome.
Nice. Yeah, we'd love to see some footage of that.
All righty, appreciate it.
Thank you, Jason. Nice to meet you. Thanks for coming on.
You bet. Have a good night.
You too. Well, that was a lot of fun. Now let's meet Mark. Let's see here. Hey, Mark, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Thank you so much for coming on and doing this with us.
No problem. Thanks for having the show.
Oh, my pleasure. So I'm going to put you full screen here. I can't wait to see what this is here.
Sure.
Snowpack. Is that what that says?
Yeah. So I just thought I'd share my garage here. I've thought of doing it before. This is a 1970 snowpack. Made a couple of years in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And it's basically a Ski Zoom clone from that year.
Yeah.
And next to that, I have my Wheel Horse Safari. And we just got our first few inches of snow here in Connecticut yesterday. So
yeah,
just did crank seals on this and it runs great. So looking forward to getting that out tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then next to that, I got my Ski Whiz, Massey Ski Whiz. It's the 350.
Yeah.
Another good one. And then a 69 Aaron's Arrow with the cover's kind of off it here, but with a matching cover. That was a sled that I actually grew up riding, and then it was sold and it moved on, and then last year I got it back.
Wow.
And got it running and rode it around again, and then in the back here I have my
Spitfire.
John Deere Spitfire.
Yeah.
It's a 78, I believe. The under there is a 68 Super Olympic.
Yeah.
That I just did drivers on, and kind of tucked in here that I got to do a track on as a Polaron Cyclone.
Yeah. Those are some nice sleds.
In the early 70s as well. And then tucked in over here is a kitty cat.
Very nice. Very nice. Now, Scott, do you have any comments or questions on what we're looking at here?
I the only one I'm not familiar with is the snowpack, but I had a wheel horse and that was a nice sled when I had it. I've never had a Ski Whiz. I have a John Deere now, and I've never ridden an Aaron's either. But those are nice sleds.
Yeah, that is really cool. Now,
the
Mark,
wheel horse.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Electric
start. Yeah.
All the lights work on it, and
good
to go.
Yeah.
Nice.
As far as snowpack
you feel like
goes,
firing that up?
I believe they were only sold a couple years, and then they were bought by a company that rebranded it to Snowpack with no K, just PAC.
Okay.
And they were branded, I believe, these colors since they were sold in the Green Bay area to attract Packers fans.
Packers fans?
Yeah, team colors. Yeah.
And it's a pretty neat sled. The two headlight version one is pretty wild looking as well. It's kind of got that big hood like a wheel horse does.
Yeah. That is cool. Now, you're able to fire any of these up for us?
Yeah, I should be able to get the wheel horse going here.
Yeah. Yeah. That is cool. Yeah, that thing purrs.
Yeah, she goes. She goes. She just doesn't go fast.
Sure.
But it's a fun sled. It's a fun sled. I had all these in here. I had riding last year, pretty much, except for the Skidoo. But every one of these has ran, and a couple of them are going to need a little tinkering to, as they all do, as any 50-year-old snowmobile does. But it's a fun collection. Yeah,
that is really cool. I appreciate you sharing that with us.
Anytime.
Now, do you take these out yard riding or anything like that?
I do. Yeah, I have a little bit of land here at my house, and then there's some guys local here and where I live in Bloomfield, Connecticut, that have some vintage sleds, and we'll take them out for a little ride and and enjoy. So.
Yeah, the reason I ask that is if you're ever out doing that, doing some yard riding, I'd love it if you could take some footage of that with your cell phone and share it with us.
Absolutely. Yeah, I could definitely do that. Not a problem.
Yeah, just email it to me. All I ask is you hold the camera horizontal for a wide shot. It's because vertical footage is really hard to edit.
Sure. Not a problem.
And then before we wrap up, we've got some comments that have come in. Let's take a look at them. Where are they? Right here. So Jason Seymour is looking for the link for the show and tell We're going to actually wrap up that segment, but do catch us next time, Jason. We'd love to see what you have for show and tell, because I only go for maybe 10 or 15 minutes with this because I still have some more videos to show, and I like to wrap it up by 10. Also, Joseph Cochran. Joseph's a good friend of mine. Thank you for coming on, Joe. We really appreciate it. Thank you for watching. That is cool. And he's got a Jag he may bring on sometime. Or no, I think it was a Lynx. But we also got Patricia Todd. I'm not sure what the message is, but thank you so much for weighing in. We've got Rob Hildrich. He's going to be coming on very soon. He said he's got a Jag. It's missing a seat. He's going to be coming on, I think, in the new year. I think it is, with some kitty cats. He's got a kitty cat collection. Reese Flurry's coming on. Says, hello, Mark. Yeah, Reese says, nice Polaron.
That used to be his Polaron, and he did a great job on it.
No way.
That used to be his Polaron. He did a great job on it.
That's amazing. And then Roger Cormier says, nice collection, great variety of old, rare, vintage sleds. And then David DeGhetto, thanks for coming on, David. Great to see you. Says, nice sleds. Very cool, very cool. Well, good. I'm going to wrap up this live portion of the program, but I appreciate both Scott, Mark, and Jason for coming on tonight. This has made my day, because my whole goal with this podcast is to use today's technology to celebrate all of the wonderful memories we have of vintage sleds. And the ability to bring people on like this live in real time, to me, is just really exciting. And I appreciate your coming on and doing this with us, Mark, and same for Scott and for Jason that came on. But so I'll just do a quick, any quick final words, Scott?
I just want to thank you, Mike, for having us on. I really appreciate it, and looking forward to working with you in the future.
Likewise, looking forward to that as well. I appreciate your coming on. And Mark, any final words?
No, just thank you for a great show. For anybody that was thinking of joining your live stream, it was very easy, and you've done a great job with the show, and I'd recommend anyone thinking of doing it, definitely jump on.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, thank you so much, Mark, for coming on, and Scott and Jason, who was on earlier. Really appreciate it. That's what makes this show special, is having the ability to bring other people on. It really takes it to a whole other level, and I'm looking forward to doing a lot more of this with this podcast. So if you enjoyed this tonight, we're just getting started with this kind of live stuff, bringing people on live. And for Jason, who was thinking about coming on, do plan on coming on live next week. Clicking the link for some show and tell. We'd love to see what you've got. But for now, I'm going to wrap up the live stuff. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming on, and look forward to catching you another time.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Take care. All right. Well, how fun was that? I'm just getting situated here. There we go. That was incredible. I just love this ability to bring people on live and share things in real time with fellow enthusiasts. It's a great way to hold a mirror up to this vintage snowmobile hobby and see what people are doing. I'm really excited about doing this. And as far as I'm concerned, we're just getting started, because I want to do a whole lot more of this of bringing people on live. But what else have we got tonight? We've got a few announcements. Let me get into the announcement area here for some. I've got a graphic for Crane's Snowmobile Show. This is going to be February 5th in Lancaster, New Hampshire. This is an excellent show. Not only do they have 50 to 100 exhibitors show up with sleds, it's also located at Crane's Snowmobile Museum. So you see all these sleds outside the exhibitors have brought that day. You're enjoying those, and then you can go inside the museum to see all the sleds in there. There's also a corner of the museum that is dedicated to the Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame. And then, of course, there's a cookout too. They've got food going. You can buy some food. Their chili is amazing. It's just a wonderful time. Also, on January the 8th, Washington, Vermont, not too far from the state capital of Montpelier, they're going to have a vintage snowmobile rally. I encourage you to join us there as well. I'm planning to attend both of these shows, and I would love to see you there. What else have we got? I also want to, I would love if you could include our dear friend Bill Elvis Stull in your prayers. He's struggling right now with stage 2 COVID pneumonia, and I would like to ask you to please include him and his wife Becky, who's also there in the image, to include them in your prayers. He's pulling through it okay, but he's still got a ways to go to get through this, and I'd like you to include him in your prayers. And in case you're not familiar with Bill, Bill is one of the biggest RUP guys out there. He collects RUPs, he restores RUPs, he races RUPs, he sells RUP parts, and he's working on a RUP museum. He is the RUP guy in the vintage snowmobile hobby. He's a great guy, a great friend. And again, like I said, he's struggling right now with stage 2 COVID pneumonia. And I ask you to please include him in your prayers. I've been praying for him as well. Also, we've got Dennis Torrance sent me this email earlier this week. He said if anyone is in need of or would like this manual for their collection, he would be willing to send it to them. This would have to be in the U.S., but it's an Arctic Cat. Let me get a closer look at these manuals. It's an Arctic Cat. It's a climber service manual for 74 to 77 Arctic Cat. And if you're curious about that, just message me and I'll act as a liaison. Let me get my email address on the screen. This is where you would send me an email to communicate with me. Just mention the manual and that it's Dennis's, and I'll put the two of you in touch and make something happen. Also, we've got this really cool image that Scotty Burgess shared with me. This is Christmas morning at his house in 1969. There's a 1969 Ski-Doo right there next to the Christmas tree. Someone was on the nice list that year. They came in and that Christmas morning and they had a snowmobile under the tree. How cool is that? How amazing would it be to relive that kind of a memory? And lastly, I'm going to get to this graphic in a little bit. That has to do with one of the videos we're going to be looking at. So we're going to look at some footage now. I've got some footage that Rob Hildrich shared with me. This is some footage he took at the recent Sledorama show in Peterborough, Ontario. And this, let me remove that email address. This is one of the things I'm really excited about as well, is the idea of not only bringing people on live like we just did tonight, but also people sharing footage at vintage snowmobile events, vintage shows, races. If you share footage with me, I'd love to share it for all of us to enjoy here on the podcast. And we're going to do exactly that right now. Let me pull up Rob's footage, and I thank Rob in advance for sharing it with me. Oh, and that graphic, of course, this is the show he was at. That's why I was popping that graphic earlier. But let me get Rob's footage up. Here we go. Let's take a look at Rob's footage. And Rob, thank you in advance so much for sharing this footage with us. Also, Rob is an AMSOIL dealer. There's a link to his AMSOIL website in the description. Let's take a look at his footage.
This is Rob, the oil guy. We're at the 4th Snowmobile Show in Peterborough. You guys really don't want to see all the vendors here. You're more interested in the vintage snowmobiles, right? Okay, let's see if we can find some for you. 1971 motor ski, 800. I don't think I've ever seen one of these before. Yep. Now this one, I had one of these myself. It's the first machine I owned. I think I was 13 years old. Came with a 6-horse on it, and I took my dad's 18-horse and put it on it. It worked pretty good, so I ripped the track out of it. Every show you go to, there's always a collection of Mercs. Everybody wants to collect a Merc. Awful nice looking machines, fast, fun to drive. Lots of different mods you can do to them. You still see a lot of them at the races. You don't see too many Merc jackets. They're here. Here's a 1978 Cheetah 500 fan. Now, after my dad drove Ski-Doos for years and years and his back got sore, Doc says, buy a cat. So my dad became a cat fan after that, and this is one of the first ones he owned. Well, just like this.
These were the short track versions of the Panther. They had the same 17-inch wide track, but the track was 6 inches shorter and the seat was about 6 inches shorter.
Oh, yeah.
So, kind of their sports car model. 78 was the last year for it because it was a mix of new and old. It's the nice aluminum chassis that they moved forward with the old style steel suspension. So very, very heavy. It was the first year for the Suzuki 500cc engines with CDI ignition, but also the last of the cam secondary on the chain case style no jackshaft designs. So this is a real mix of what they were moving towards and the tried and true that they were moving from.
Wow, that's in pretty nice shape.
Thank you. It took, it was a long restoration. The gentleman that started it did excellent work, and we were fortunate enough to have a little finishing to do.
Yeah, so thank you so much to Rob Hildrich for sending me that footage. I really appreciate that. Not only was it great footage, but it's just a great way to mix things up with this podcast. And like I keep saying, my whole goal with this podcast is to be a way to hold a mirror up to the vintage snowmobile hobby so we can all see what people are doing. And just the idea that people like Rob can share footage with me, go to a Vintage Snowmobile show, take some footage, share it with me, and we can all enjoy it. Now, Rob sent me some more footage too. There's another 4 or 5 minutes worth of footage, but I'm going to save that for another edition of the podcast. But yeah, Rob, thank you so much for sharing that. I really appreciate it. I'm going to take a couple of quick comments, and then we've got some more videos to show you. We've got Mark Sparandio. I think I'm seeing that correctly. Yeah, it says, thought you might find the Polaron familiar, and thanks for letting me share. Oh, that was Mark that was just on. Okay, I'm putting it together because when he was on as Mark S, and I didn't know his last name. Cool deal. Yeah, thank you so much for coming on, Mark. We really appreciate that. Mark Ferguson says it's a great show. Thank you so much, Mark. Appreciate your coming on. And also Rob Hilditch, who just shared that footage, says it's a great show. Yeah, Rob, thank you so much. And if you go to more shows in the future, please keep those kind of videos coming. I'd love to include more of that. That really makes this podcast just takes it to a whole new level. Being able to have all of this footage from other people and bringing people on live. Like I keep saying, my whole goal with this has always been to just hold a mirror up to the vintage snowmobile hobby so we can all see what people are doing. But what have we got next here on the podcast? I've got so many things on this interface that I have to scroll up and down to find everything. But the next clip we have is some footage that was sent to me a few years ago for another project I was doing. This comes from Greg Dobberke. Now, Greg Dobberke is he's a really big into twin tracks, Raiders, and things like that. And he has a website called twintrackworld.com. I encourage you to go there and check that out because he's got some amazing stuff over there. Anyway, he's got a clip of a 1974 Double Eagle Raider. We're going to take a look at that as soon as I have it in front of me. Here we go. Let me click it.
Here is a 1974 Double Eagle Raider. An original 1970s Raider dealership sign.
very cool. Yeah, and thank you so much, Greg, for sharing that footage. I really appreciate it. And also, Greg, who runs that website, twintrackworld.com. So if you like that twin track stuff, be sure and visit that, twintrackworld.com. Now, I'm curious about these Raiders. I've never driven one of those. Is there anyone viewing who has driven one of those? What were those like to drive? How did they handle with the motor in the back and the rider in the center? Was there enough weight on the skis? Did it tend to understeer? Also, was it tippy? Was it stable? Was it fast? Was it not fast? Being inside it like that, were you able to lean enough to give it body English to make it do what you wanted to? I'd be really curious to know what those were like, how those handled. Yeah, so if you have thoughts about that, please leave them in the comment section. I'm going to get to some more comments here in just a second, and I've got some more video footage for you. But before we do, I just want to give a quick shout out to our good friends at the Lancaster Motel. I'll catch you on the other side of this. I'd like to give a quick shout out to our friends at the historic Lancaster Motel in Lancaster, New Hampshire. The Lancaster Motel has been serving snowmobilers since the 60s, and they are the perfect eastern trail riding destination for snowmobilers young and old. The Lancaster Motel is right on Corridor Trail 5 in Lancaster, New Hampshire, with plenty of parking for vehicles, sleds, and trailers. Plus, the Lancaster Motel is within walking distance of Crane's Snowmobile Museum, plus restaurants, shopping, entertainment, and more. Click the link in the description to learn more about the Lancaster Motel. Yeah, for sure. Lancaster Motel is very good. They're very good friends of this podcast, and the trails will be opening soon. So if you're thinking about doing some Eastern riding that includes history, there's a lot of history that took place in Lancaster. The Crane Snowmobile Museum is a walking distance. The first snowmobile club in America started in Lancaster, and the first ski-doos that were ever imported into the U.S. from Canada were imported to a building that used to exist right behind the Lancaster Motel. So if you want to do some trail riding and combine that with some history of the snowmobile, there's no better place than the Lancaster Motel. The trails will be opening soon, so do give them a call as soon as you can to make your reservation. And I'm going to take a few more comments, and then we'll get some more videos to show you. Let me get into the comment screen here. John Spranger Jr. says, another great show. Please keep it going. And I thank you, John, for viewing this each and every week. I really appreciate your being a regular viewer. And John does some good video too. He was out at Fast Eddie's last winter and shared some footage with me, and I really appreciate that. And John, if you're going to any shows this year, please take some footage if you're able to and share it with us. All I ask is always hold the camera horizontal like this for a wide shot. It's a lot easier to edit. And not only John, but anyone who's attending shows or races this year, I'd love to see any footage that you have that you can share with me, and I can share it on here for all of us to enjoy. A few more quick comments. Pete Ayers, sounds like a CCW engine. Yes. Alden Banks likes the Double Eagle. Reese Fleury says, beautiful Raider. Appreciate all the compliments too for all of these sleds that are on here tonight. Rick and Katrina Dumont says that's going to be the nicest Double Eagle they've ever seen. Nicer than new. I absolutely agree. Pat Lima says, Slick Raider. Pardon me. Slick Raider. Very nice. My throat gets irritated when I talk too long. So we're going to be wrapping it up soon. I'm going to let the video clips do the talking here in just a moment. Reese, okay, here we go. In answer to the question, Reese Fleury says it handles well, but there's not much room in the cockpit. Good to know. Rick and Katrina Dumont, I apologize, says they have a 1973 440. Yes, very fun to drive. No leaning is necessary, and they turn on a dime. Yeah, that answers everything that I was asking. I really appreciate that, filling me in on that. And then, of course, Bill Walton appreciates the show. Enjoyed it very much. Yeah, thank you so much for coming on, Bill. And thank you also for your involvement in those grass drags. That looks like an awful lot of fun. You never know. I may just show up out there one day. Okay, we've got another video clip here. This is Steve Deckard's Mallard, Speedway, and Dauphin snowmobiles, vintage snowmobiles, at the Goffstown, New Hampshire Vintage Snowmobile Show, just outside of Concord, New Hampshire. This was a couple of years ago. Let's take a look.
My name is Steve Becker. I'm from Laconia, New Hampshire. That's my 69 Mallard Snow Wing. It's got a 297 JLL engine. That was the predecessor to Chaparral. The Chaparral Snowbirdie was a spawn off of this manufacturer, and 69 was the only year that came with aluminum skis. This is my 650 Speedway 1973 3-cylinder Kohler triple. It's kind of a unique sled. They didn't make too many of them. It took me quite a while to find a nice original example. It's just, I've always liked blue, and it's one of my favorite sleds. That's about it on that.
Sure. And this one, I've only seen these in magazines.
Oh, this is the only one known. This is my 1970 Dauphin D6000, rumored to have been only have 3 produced. This currently is the only one in existence. It's the pride of my fleet. I show it when I can, but it gets a lot of attention. It's a fun sled to own, and haven't really been able to find any real history on them, but my favorite sled that I have.
Nice. Well, good. Thank you so much. Yeah, cool. Very nice sleds. We've got a few more comments, and then we've got one more video clip for you. Roger Cormier says, fantastic show tonight. Thank you so much, Roger. Love to see everyone's vintage snowmobiles. And I agree, because it's no longer about me. That's what I like about this. It's about the people I'm bringing on. I'm really enjoying this, and it sounds like you guys are as well. And I just want to do more and more of that. We're bringing people on live and sharing footage that people have sent us, and just seeing more and more what people are doing in this vintage hobby. A couple of last comments. Hello from Oregon, Jared Saylor. Hello back. And then we've got Mark, who was on a little while ago, says Steve has one of the best oddball collections. Some really nice sleds. Yeah, for sure. Cool deal. All right. Well, we've got one more video clip. This is a video clip from the Bethlehem, New Hampshire Vintage Snowmobile Show in October, just last month. Now I was hanging out with Loren Kandzior, Doug. Oh, it's getting late, and it's getting late, and I'm having brain fade. I can't think of Doug's last name, even though he's a friend of mine, and Alan Gebo. Anyway, the three of us were hanging out, just joking around and chatting at the Bethlehem, New Hampshire show, and we're looking at some sleds, talking them up, joking around. And as you're watching the video, it's not completely obvious, but there's a real steep bank behind them. And we were joking around about good thing these sleds don't have reverse. Imagine the sleds going down that bank. So anyway, we're just kind of hanging out, joking around. Check it out. Nice kitty.
Oh, they'll be happy.
Nice kitty.
That was not electric start, right?
No.
No electric. Remember we had to preheat it?
Yeah, well, I think I changed my choke. I changed my choke this year.
Did you?
Yeah, I got it all changed around, so hopefully it feels better.
You feel like talking these up, Al?
We've done it before, but I don't think they need to see me again.
Well, we got the foliage behind you this time.
Yeah, that's a giveaway. Yeah.
Yeah. Good thing these don't have reverse, huh? Whoops.
Well, hang on.
Yeah.
When I get something different, I'll talk to you again.
All right.
Because everybody's seen these before.
All right. Yeah, so that's the cool thing about these shows. If you go to shows in northern Vermont or New Hampshire, a lot of the same people show up, and everyone's good friends, and we all hang out and talk and joke and check out each other's sleds. And as you can see there, Alan Gebo has some beautiful, beautiful cats from the late 60s and early 70s. And then Doug Gurnee and Loren Kandzior have some nice sleds too. And they were off just to the left there. I get some nice interviews and footage of those sleds too, which I'll share in a future episode of the podcast. But let's take a few comments here, and we're going to wind this podcast down. Where were we? Reese Fleury says, amazing collection. Looks even better in person. Cool deal. Skip Estes is a cat guy, but he loves the Mallard. Yeah, likewise. I'm a cat guy as well, but I love all the brands, especially those really obscure ones. Always cool to see. Glenn Ford says, great show again. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Reese Fleury loves that 600 that Alan has. And Reese Fleury says, Alan's a great guy. Yes, he absolutely is. I see him at most of the shows, and he's a super guy. Alden Banks says, keep up the great work. I appreciate that compliment, and I will do my best to do exactly that. And like I said, I feel like I'm just getting started. Now that we're starting to bring people on live, and I'm getting footage sent to me from people who are going to shows and races. To me, we're just getting started. I want to do more and more of that, so it's less and less about me and my footage, and more about the people who are contributing. Really excited about that. And Nick Kafes says, great show tonight. Thank you so much, Nick, and I appreciate you being a regular viewer. I don't think you've missed a single episode that I can think of. I think you're on here every single time, and that really means a lot. I really appreciate it. Bruce Hall is another awesome show. Thank you so much for the compliment. I appreciate it. And you're a regular viewer as well, and I really appreciate that. Okay, I need to wind it down because I'm in an upstairs bedroom here at the world headquarters of the Vintage Snowmobile Lovers podcast. World headquarters, of course, is code for doing it from home. But like I said, I'm in an upstairs bedroom, and people start coming up to bed around 10 o'clock. So it's time to wind it down. Rick and Katrina Dumont says, thank you so much. An amazing show. This is his new Thursday night. I appreciate that. That really means a lot because I know there's a lot of options out there, and that you're here on Thursday night. That means the world to me. I really appreciate it. So we're going to wind it down. Thank you so much, everyone, for showing up, either as a viewer or as a contributor. Really means a lot. This podcast is really starting to take on a life of its own, and it's all because of you guys. One last comment here before we wrap it up. And Mark Ferguson, glad he found this show. Thank you so much in keeping up, and I'm glad you found it as well. I really appreciate everybody that comes on here every week. You guys really mean a lot. That's what keeps this going. That's what puts the wind in the sails to keep this vessel moving forward. And I thank you so much. I could not do it without you guys. All right, I'm losing my voice, running out of time, running out of steam. We're going to close out this podcast with a word from our friends at Mad Ramps. And if you like what you see, click the link in the description. That way you're ordering from me, and I will send you 3 free Vintage Snowmobile DVDs. Merry Christmas, everyone. We'll catch you on the other side. Hello, everyone. This is Rob and Mike. How you doing today, Rob?
I'm doing good. Mike, yourself?
Very well. Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it. Now, today, we're going to be talking about AMSOIL. And in a few moments, we're going to show you how you can get the deepest discounts, free shipping, and free gifts when you order your AMSOIL products through us. But first, I'm going to ask Rob to give you a quick description of what AMSOIL is and why you should consider using AMSOIL products in your motorized vehicles.
Thanks, Mike. AMSOIL is 100% synthetic oil. Everybody uses AMSOIL for a different reason. Some people like the benefits that AMSOIL is warranted for 25,000 miles or 1 year. The reason we can do that is because AMSOIL doesn't oxidize. It doesn't form the usual carbons, gums, sludges like petroleum oils do. That's why we can keep it in the engines longer. Petroleum oils never do wear out. They oxidize themselves. That's why they have to be changed at 3,000 kilometers. And AMSOIL likes the benefit that you only have to change the oil once a year. That saves them money. Some of the people like the benefit of AMSOIL is it's a slipperier type lube. By having a slipperier type lube, it cuts down friction drag. By less friction and drag, engines run 20 to 50 degrees cooler, better gas mileage. Now, AMSOIL says 25% more protection than the industry requires is in the AMSOIL bottles. My average customer gets about 10% increase in gas mileage. That's a big savings.
Yeah.
And by cutting down friction and drag, for every 10 degrees you cut down the friction and drag, doubles the life of the engine. So by having the engine run cooler, it makes it last longer. Some people like the benefit of the range of the AMSOIL. AMSOIL's flash point is 425 degrees, and it pours at 50 below zero. Wow. If you ever try petroleum oil when it's 10 below, it turns to honey. And in the summertime, petroleum oil thins out, and once it thins out, that's when it starts breaking down. So AMSOIL is an all-season oil, can give you better gas mileage, longer engine life, less maintenance. It ends up being cheaper over a year's time running AMSOIL than it is petroleum oils.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And AMSOIL is available for pretty much any motorized vehicle, anything from lawn equipment, cars, trucks, boats, ATVs, motorcycles, snowmobiles.
Yep. And a lot of people phone me up and say, well, what's the benefit of our gear lube? Exactly what I told you about the engine oil. It pours in cold weather, it runs cooler, makes the equipment last longer. And they say, well, what's the benefit of the small engine? Same thing. Makes the engine run cooler, last longer, better performance. So it saves on all the applications that AMSOIL has available.
Wonderful, wonderful. So yeah, let's talk now. Hopefully this has convinced people to think about maybe joining us in the AMSOIL experience. Let's talk about some of the discounts and free shipping and how that all happens. I'm going to pop a graphic on the screen. And yeah, by all means, if you want to talk people through how this preferred customer program works.
AMSOIL has a number of different programs. One of our main ones is a catalog customer, where somebody can order directly out of our catalog. If they order out of the catalog, they order $100 worth, AMSOIL will ship it right to their house. But our best program is our preferred customer. For only $10 for 6 months, you become a preferred customer, you save 25% on all the product. You order $100 worth, they're going to give you free shipping. You don't have to order a whole case. You can mix and match. Say you want 4 bottles of small engine, 7 bottles of 5W30, and a couple of gear loops. You can mix and match. You can order 1 bottle at a time if you want. There's no minimums, no maximums. By being a preferred customer, you save over 25% on all the products you're going to buy. AMSOIL sends you extra gifts, a $5 gift certificate on your birthday, $5 when you renew your account, and stuff like that. So it's a good way to save on some of the products you want to buy.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, it's an incredible value. And this is the deepest level of discount that anyone can get when ordering AMSOIL. Is that correct?
It is. It is.
Wonderful, wonderful. So let's take people through the step-by-step experience of placing an AMSOIL order. Then that would include signing up for the preferred customer preferred customer program, so they can receive those deepest levels of discount. So let's go to the website. This is what the website's going to look like. These are some screenshots. Once you go to amsoil.com, there's a link in the description, or you can just type that into a browser, amsoil.com. This is the page you land on. At the upper corner of the page there, you see how I've circled in red. That is the link to click, the Join Now link. That will take you to the Preferred Customer Program page, where you can take advantage of all of these discounts and free shipping and everything that we've just been talking about. This is what that page looks like. In the lower right, you're going to click Join Now. This will pop up. You select the duration you'd like, whether it's 6 months or 12 months, and click Add to Cart. Now, once this pop-up goes away, you'll be back on the main page. And the upper left, you'll see where I've got that red arrow. It says Shop. Now you can start shopping for products, and on your very first order, you're going to get these discounts and the free shipping as long as it's over $100. You'll get all of these benefits right away. So once you click Shop, it's going to take you to the product page. There's different types of oils, lubricants, so on and so forth. For the benefit of this exercise we're doing now, I'm just going to click motor oil. It shows different types of motor oil. Let's click gasoline. Now this takes us to an item. It's their synthetic motor oil. And you can see the item there, and there's choices for different viscosities. But take a look at the price. Let's take a closer look. Let's zoom in. But if you've joined the Preferred Customer Program first, you're going to automatically get the deepest levels of discount. That's what we're looking at here. You're saving $3.80 on that quart of oil. Instead of paying $16.29, you're now paying $12.49 for that quart of oil. That is the deepest level of discount you can possibly get. And then you just add the quantity that you'd like. You select any other items that you're thinking about, add them to the cart. And once you click Add to Cart for the final time, you're going to see this come up at the top of the screen. It's going to show your items and the total that you're at so far. Pardon me. And then you just click View Cart in the upper right, and that'll take you to your cart. Take a close look here at the upper right. That blue box shows that you're getting free shipping. You're eligible for free shipping on this order because it's over $100. That little yellow box shows that you've got the preferred customer membership on your order that gives you the deepest levels of discounts for the next 6 to 12 months. And then below that, you've got the items that have been selected. For the exercise here, I selected 9 quarts of the Signature Series, but that brings us up over $100 for the free shipping. We're saving $34.20. And if you're ready to finish, you click Checkout Now, and that takes you to this screen here. If you haven't signed up with an AMSOIL account at this point, just click in the lower right to create an account, create a new account. It's going to ask you for some basic information, name and those types of things. Now let's take a closer look. You'll see this gray shaded box. This is a very important box. This is going to ask you if someone has referred you to AMSOIL. And if so, please enter my name. My name is Mike LaPierre. It's spelled right there on the screen for the correct spelling. And also the referral number, 304-555-94. That's how you make sure that Rob and I get credit for this. Now, in the interest of full disclosure, I have signed up for AMSOIL under Rob. So when you order using this referral number, Rob and I both benefit. So if you enjoy these podcasts that we're doing, this is a wonderful way to support the podcast, because when you order using this referral number, Rob and I both benefit. And the commissions I make go directly toward offsetting the cost of doing these podcasts. So I thank you in advance for that, for using my referral number. I very much appreciate it. And once you've done that, you just go into the next screen to enter your payment information, and you're done. Now, once you've placed your order that's over $100, and that order includes your AMSOIL Preferred Customer Program, you are now eligible to get a free DVD from myself. Now, this is going to be either a muscle car DVD or a vintage snowmobile DVD. Use the email address on the screen, wkspodcasts@gmail.com. Send me an email. Let me know which DVD you would like me to send you, the muscle car or the vintage snowmobile DVD, and I'll get that right out to you. As you're typing in that email, in the subject line, be sure and type in capital letters "free DVD requests" so it stands out as I'm checking my email, and we'll get that right out to you. So I guess the last thing, Rob, that we wanted to talk about is if someone is considering AMSOIL as a business opportunity.
Yes. If anybody has a retail or a commercial account and they would like to buy directly from AMSOIL, just send Mike a line. He'll show you how to set up and you can buy directly from AMSOIL. But if you are interested in starting your own part-time business, a part-time business that can grow into a full-time income, Mike and I will show you the AMSOIL marketing plan. AMSOIL has a large selection of products that cover almost every application. So it doesn't matter if you're into snowmobile, boating, or ATVing or hot rods, we have an oil for every application. It's a fun type business that I really enjoy doing. Where else can I go and have fun and make money doing it? And Mike and I are here to help you all the way along. If you need any help on how to promote or to find new accounts, we're here to help you.
For sure. So when you sign up under that number, this 304-555-94, you're getting Rob and I as a team. Now, Rob has been doing AMSOIL for 40 years. Can you believe that? 40 years. So he knows every aspect of this business, and he knows all of the ins and outs of the products. So he'll be able to help you with any kind of product questions or any kind of questions to show you the different business models that you can do with AMSOIL. And then the other thing that you get when you sign up under me is I've got a strong background in social media. So if you need some coaching on how to generate AMSOIL leads using Facebook and YouTube, I'm happy to coach you with that when you sign up under Rob and I. You get both of us as a team to help you, to coach you, to support you, whatever you need to get you off and running with this business and having fun with it. Like Rob said, it's an enormous amount of fun. If you're like Rob and I and you enjoy going to any kind of boat shows, car shows, motorcycle shows, snowmobile shows, anything with a motor, you like going to those shows, those events, those races, this is a great way to turn that into a income opportunity for you.
Yes. And just by wearing my AMSOIL hat at one of these events, people come up and ask me about AMSOIL. People don't know where to buy it, and I'm there to help them, show them where they can buy the products.
Perfect. Well, cool. Well, this is great. Any final thoughts, Rob, before we wrap it up?
AMSOIL's a fun business. AMSOIL's been around since 1968. It was the first synthetic oil to be AI approved.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And that's very early in the game too, isn't it?
Yes.
For sure. Well, good. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for viewing. Hopefully, we've gotten you excited as we are about the AMSOIL products. We'd love it if you could join us either as someone who uses the AMSOIL products or to join the AMSOIL team as a business opportunity. And we thank you so much for viewing. Have a great day.
You have a good day.
It's the ultimate combination of simplicity and ingenuity. The newest way to load, unload, and transport your ATV or UTV. The Mad Ramp's pivoting ramp system. Made in the USA and engineered for strength and durability. Maneuver through tight places and over rugged terrain with plenty of ground clearance. No licensing, no ongoing maintenance costs, and no storage hassles like trailers. Won't slip or move like conventional ramps. Free up more cargo space in the bed of your truck. Securely connects to your truck's receiver hitch. Easily extends for safe loading and unloading. Seamlessly retracts for highway and off-road travel. DOT approved in all 50 states and Canada. Quickly disconnects in under a minute. A unique space-saving storage system. The Mad Ramp's pivoting ramp system. Go farther. Go faster. Go safer.
When you order using the link in the description, I'll send you 3 free Vintage Snowmobile DVDs. when you order using the link in the description, I'll send you 3 free Vintage Snowmobile DVDs.